Are you surrounded by haters? Hey guys, this is Andy with Mindset Matters More. And today we're going to talk about the company you keep and making sure that we're surrounding ourselves with people who are not trying to bring us down, people who are talking shit to our face, who basically inject their negativity into our dreams. Because one thing that has been proven time and time and time and time again, and you'll hear this from all the famous people, everybody who is successful, they will tell you very specifically that the people who are around you are directly responsible, well, not responsible, but they're directly impacting your life. So if you surround yourself with negative people all the time, then you're just going to maintain that negative mindset. If you surround yourself with positive go-getters, then you yourself are going to be influenced by that and be a positive go-getter. However, there is such a thing as people who support you but just don't understand, right? So here's the difference between a hater and someone who just doesn't understand, okay? So, people who hate on you will actively deter you from trying to achieve your goals because they're telling you, hey, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. That is not for you. You cannot do that because that's impossible, blah, blah, blah. And those are people who are projecting onto you exactly how they feel. And that is, to me, the definition of hater, right? It's not necessarily that they hate you, but they're bringing this negative energy into what you're doing by being very pessimistic, being very negative, being like a Debbie Downer, right? Now, there are people in your life who just don't understand and say, well, you know what? As long as it makes you happy, as long as you're safe, as long as you are living in alignment, then do you. I may not get it, but I support you anyways. They're not actively contributing because they don't understand or they might not be a part of that world, but they also are not telling you to stop doing what you're doing. They're not telling you that you cannot do it. And there is also this other class of people who tell you, hey, you can't do that because in their mind, they're trying to protect you. But I still classify those people as haters. I still classify those people as, people who do, like, if, especially if they have not been successful in the thing that you're trying to accomplish, I would not listen to them. Now, if somebody who's been successful in that arena and says, hey, actually, this is the way that things are done, but you can do it, you can try it, like go for it. But this is what my experience has been. I would classify them in the last category, which is people who are supportive and outwardly vocal and try to help you and try to see, hey, how can I support you in this? Let me listen to your podcast. Let me read your book. Let me watch your YouTube. Let me support you by clicking like on your pictures. And there's a whole class of people who, it's 100% team you. Okay. So there are different people in these categories. So I believe that the people who are actively trying to bring you down, the people who are saying, don't do that, you suck, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's not real, that's not, those are the people who you need to get out of your life. And sometimes that's really hard because it's people who are very close to you. It's a parent, it's a sibling, it's somebody who's in your life on a daily basis, right? Especially if you're young, and listening to this and you have somebody in your life who's like, no, you can't do that. It's really hard to overcome that noise, and eventually you're going to have to move away from that noise. Okay. Those people, 100%, I feel like if not now, then soon, you need to get them out of your life and limit your interaction as much as you possibly can. Now, sometimes it's inevitable, right? I mean, especially if it's a parent, you're gonna see them, but you're gonna have to do some practices before you see them. And I'm gonna talk about that at the end of this podcast. So, and then the second period is like the people who don't get it, but they still want the best for you. So they just don't say anything. They're fine. That's great. Again, I wouldn't even interact with them too much, but that doesn't mean that you have to get them out of your life. Understand that possibly talking about it, they're not going to understand. and they may not want to engage because they just don't understand, and that's fine. But the people who you really want to surround yourself with, the people who should be the majority of the people who are around you, the people who you fill your cup and say, yes, go you, are the people who you want to interact with daily. These are the people who you want with in your corner on your team. Once anybody falls into the other two categories, it's either limited interaction or no interaction. Again, sometimes it's really hard because these are people you live with. These are people that you see every day. These are people that you have to interact with. But if you start cultivating a inner circle of people who are super supportive, you're going to find that you're going to be way more successful with what you're doing. You're going to find that you're going to be way more successful in getting to your goal faster and more with ease. So, what do you do if you cannot get away from people who are Debbie Downers, who are haters, who you have to interact with? Okay, one, if they're coworkers, get a new fucking job. Okay, period, point blank. But if these are people like your family members, it's always good to have practices that tend to lean into, okay, why is this person saying this to me? Is it because that's what they believe? Is it because this is their own prejudice? Is it because they feel that about themselves? Is it because they think they're not good enough and they're projecting onto me? Which is probably the fucking answer, right? But you have to try to say, okay, when they say this to me, what are they trying to convey to me? Is it, that they don't want me to fail and that they fear that? Okay, it's coming from a place of fear. I don't need to absorb that energy. I don't need to absorb these nasty words that they're saying to me because it's not real. That's not my life. That is not my destiny. And reaffirming your destiny with the way that you envision it is very powerful. But every single time you have these interactions, you have to cleanse your spirit of that negative energy with trying to do the inner work. Is what are they trying to say? What is it about what they're saying inspires fear in me? Is it because I need validation from this person? Is it because this person has a lot of authority in my life and I fear that if I don't follow him, then maybe I'm going to be put out of my house? Like what is it inspiring in you when they're talking about this? And when you do the work around that, then all of a sudden what they're saying does begins to not affect you as much, till the point that it just doesn't affect you at all. But you have to be constantly doing the work, which is why I'm saying that you really want to eliminate or minimize them, because doing the inner work surrounding these people takes a lot of your energy and it leaves little energy to spare to be able to grow your dream and your goals. It can be done, but it's just going to be that much harder. So, yes, and the reason why people say, "Hey, you should eliminate them or limit them," is because when you're looking at people on YouTube or on podcasts or Instagram or whatever, and they're saying, you can't be around these people, it's because people are not doing the work. People are not investigating, hey, when they say this to me, why are they saying that to me? And what about what they said is hurting me? Because that is a huge energy expenditure. So what really happens is you're using up the energy just to feel negative now, and you're not turning it around. But you got to do the work. You always got to do the work. Everything that you've ever fucking done in your life, you need to do the work. Okay? That's it for me today, guys. I hope you got some insight from this. Let me know. And if you need help journaling, I wrote a book. It's called Writing for My Life. It's on Amazon. I'm going to put the link in the description. And I've also got my YouTube. It's Andy Hoffer. That's me. And let me know. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Love you guys. Bye.